Welcome to the Peaceful Warrior Podcast. Hello, world. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Rhea, and today's MOMspace episode is just one of many in the series. They're all very special and important to me, and maybe to you too. But to all the moms that I'm welcoming back this season, thank you for being an important reflector in this reboot season of the MOMspace interviews. Now listen, just the same as the MOMspace series in general, this season is just as easy, straightforward, and possibly one of the best 20 minutes you'll uncover today. The MOMspace interviews are all about, well, I would say moms, but we're only moms because our babies, grown or not, have made us so. And the adventure of sharing life is never an escape, even if sometimes it can feel as though we've entered like uncharted territory through our experiences, even when we've absolutely landed already a time or two before. In the MOMspace series, I spend about 20 minutes interviewing a mom so you can be the beautiful flower on the wall, soaking all the sunlight and water we bring to this recording today. It is my intention you will find solace, inspiration, and gratitude in less than 30 minutes. In today's episode 5 of this newest season for the series, I'm joined by publicist, wife, and mommy of one, Deidre Gaskins. Hearing today's interview will not only brighten your day, it'll remind you how important a rainbow can really be after a heavy rain. That's because Deidre shares with us, well, I'll let Deidre share it. Let's lock in. It's a good one. Enjoy. Welcome to the Peaceful Warrior Podcast. And so today I'm joined by not a brand new mom, but a newish mom that has been balancing her admiration for sports daily in her title of sports publicist. And I'm so sure the track and basketball are helping her run behind her little one nowadays. But welcome to the podcast, Deidre Gaskin.
Hey,
Hey girl, hey.
this is
I'm
so fun.
so glad that you could join me today. And I know even before we started the recording, we were talking about the irony and like this is the first time we've ever talked on the phone before, like ever. But I've
Hmm.
actually known you for years and years and like
Yes,
know you on like a day to day, like in person, but never on the phone. So this is going to be fun. Are you excited about joining me today?
I am.
Okay, good. So I know you said your little one is sleeping right now, so we're gonna go for how we could go, but tell me a little bit more about your little angel that's resting right now.
Yes. So, his name is Tegan, and Tegan just turned 2. And fun fact, we are a week apart.
That is
So that was my birthday gift to myself with a brand new baby. And Tegan is actually our rainbow baby. So my husband and I got pregnant before. Unfortunately, we lost him when I was 5 months pregnant. So
oh,
now God blessed us with our rainbow baby, Mr. Tegan,
oh,
and he is a toddler, walking, talking like he a grown man. He
okay.
runs me.
That sounds spoken like a true boy mom. And I gotta tell you what made me say, okay, I meet her on my Mom's Face podcast. I don't know if you know this, but this season is what I'm considering a reboot because I'm actually going back and doing interviews with moms I interviewed, years ago when I first started this
Hmm.
thing. But you're actually like a first time interview for the podcast, but during the reboot season, which I still wanted to mix that in there. So I love it. But what made me say I need to have her on is
I took a hiatus from social media, which I'm known to do for like an extended period of time. And I had already been following you and things like that. And I always knew you again for sports, publicists. And I hop back on, I'm like, is that her? Like with a little So, what was your transition like? Because I missed all of that, like the actual pregnancy and things like that.
Yeah.
How sharing were you about it, especially considering, you having that rainbow baby? Like how were you throughout the pregnancy? Were you very sheltered for yourself or were you just excited and telling everybody?
So I was excited. Me and my husband were definitely excited. Okay, to be blessed again after trying.
Yes.
So because losing our first one was very traumatic.
Yeah, I can
And as you can imagine, like when you
imagine.
lose your first baby, you think you're
Hmm.
doing all the right things. Like
Hmm.
that's hurtful. Like to go inside of a nursery that you're not bringing a baby home, but nonetheless, speaking from a spiritual place, I do follow Christ, and what I believe is that anytime you're waiting for a blessing, you have to prepare. So, even in that time of wanting another child, me and my husband never stopped buying clothes. We never stopped buying diapers. We knew we were going to have a baby. We just didn't know when. So fast forward, literally maybe almost a year to the date that we lost our first son, we found out we were pregnant with Tegan now, and we kept it closed tight. Nobody knew anything except our pastors. I didn't even go to the doctor until I was like 5+ months because I was just so like
Hmm.
scared.
Yeah.
Um, and of course, just following the advice of my pastors, um, we kept everything like really, really tight. And that whole pregnancy was just, I felt like it was just a lot. I'm already small, so the first trimester I had, they call it subchronic hemorrhaging. So
Hmm.
it's basically the baby's trying to come at 8 weeks. Like I was bleeding, and like as a mom that just lost a child, the first thing that went through my mind, like, no, this can't be happening again, right?
Yeah.
So the first trimester I went through that. The second trimester I had these like excruciating headaches. Like when I tell you, it was to the point where I was waking up at 3, 4 in the morning screaming to the top of my lungs because it felt like somebody was stabbing me in the head with a knife.
Mm.
And I was like back and forth in the hospital for like 3, 4 days straight, um, trying to figure out what these headaches were. They didn't
Oh.
know. I had to get steroid shots. Like nobody knew anything. Um, and then the last trimester, I dealt with carpal tunnel as well as they call it pups, where you break out of these hives on your hands and your feet. So getting him here was a lot. It was a lot. Then I turned around and had to have an emergency C-section. So it was a lot. So I mean, but he's here now. He's healthy. He's amazing. He's beautiful. He's so smart, and so I'm thankful. I'm
I
thankful.
know you are. I love your optimism, and I'm gonna come back to your optimism and faith. So don't let me forget that. That's another thing I noticed on social media for you. But in this journey, I'm listening to you talk, and something makes me want to just ask you, how is it actually finding out that you were pregnant? Like, did you kind of feel it, but then say, I don't even want to know yet, or did you quickly, want to know? Something's telling me to ask you about that. Tell me more.
So the first time we were like, "Are we pregnant yet? Are we pregnant yet?" And we just kept dealing with disappointment because even with us losing our first one, trying to conceive was already a battle because we were trying to get pregnant, but we couldn't.
Mm.
But when we eventually did, I mean, that was great, but we just wanted to know. But this second time around, I was trying not to think about it. If something was like, take a pregnancy test. I took the pregnancy test and forgot about it. I just started doing stuff around the house, and something was like, go look at the test. And I was like, I'm not going to look at it. I'm going to wait,
Girl.
until my husband gets home just to see. And I did a video and we looked at it together and I saw his reaction first and then we were excited. So I guess because of trying so hard with the first one
Of
and
course.
being so anxious
Yeah.
with the first one,
Yeah.
I was just like, you know what? I'm going to just relax and let God handle it. If I'm
Hmm.
pregnant, cool. If not, okay. So I really wasn't like on it like that. But the first time, baby, I was clocking on my
Okay.
calendar. I'm ovulating. We need to do it this time. I was clocking my calendar like crazy the first time. But this time I was like, if it happened, it happened. I can't stress myself over it like that. So
Right,
I,
right. You
yeah.
can't stress yourself in that way in capacity. And that's funny because that actually kind of transitions really well into the whole optimism and faith thing that I wanted to ask you about, because isn't that funny how that will happen and we always will connect that to God. Like when we have an initial experience with something and just the way we respond to it and the way we're approaching it, it's just
Mhm,
totally
mhm,
all us. And
mhm,
then if we experience loss or disappointment or however you want to put it, and we still get up and go for it and try again, we kind of have a different
mhm,
approach. And it's funny because it's like, oh, we know, like you knew this gonna be our one, but you
mhm.
still had to approach it in that new way. So with that being said, how was your faith, I guess, expanded in this situation of after actually birthing him, getting through the C-section and getting through the healing, the healing process? How has it helped you to be very just open, with your faith and with your optimism and with being a mom, as a public thing?
Yeah, I've always been the one to, follow Christ. But I think when I became a mom, I kind of realized my assignment was different. And let me say this, because I'm not perfect. I still struggle with my faith. Like, even to this day, like, I'm the kind of person where, Rhea, if you want to believe for a new job, if you want to believe for your marriage to be restored, if you want to believe for $1 million, I got you. But I struggle when it comes to myself. So let me just, put that out there. However, once I had him, um, I think I was just more so just grateful in the moment because, like I said, getting pregnant, conceiving was definitely like a faith trial in itself, right? So when I became a mom, I was just overwhelmed with joy and just gratitude. And then the fact of how he got here and the fact that I was basically borderline stroke getting him here. Like I was just like embracing the moment of just gratitude.
Mm,
Um, I've always told people like my faith is what kind of got him here because I believe that if I stayed in that point of disappointment of losing our first son and that we never, prepared for Tegan, I don't believe that he would have been here. I think that if we would have stopped buying diapers, stopped preparing his room, stopped, doing all those things, I don't think he would have been here. But that's how my faith was working. That's how our faith was working anyway. We kept believing for something that we were asking for. So publicly, I just want to say that whatever you're believing God for, it could be a baby, it could be a house, it could be a marriage, it could be a job, it could be whatever, your family, it can be anything. I believe that you have to still prepare for it,
mm,
stay in God's presence, stay, prayed up, and no matter what it looks like, believe that God got you at the end of the day. And again, I still struggle with that because life is life for me now, and I struggle with that. But however, my son is just a testament of faith to begin with. And every time I look at him, to me, I know that God is real because he didn't have to bless me with a baby, especially somebody that lost their first one. You sometimes you be like, oh, hope is lost, but faith is kind of like the key to unlock doors. So being a new mom, that's kind of what has grounded me because he's here for a reason, and I'm his mom for a reason.
mm. I love so much of what you said. Well, I love everything of what you said. I love so much of it though because I just feel like it's very relevant for most of us, especially our in our mommyhood, like as
Mhm.
approaching being a mom and having a new way of having to look at it. Because when you carry life and you bring life, it gives you a different perspective on life, because
Mhm.
now you've fully embodied it in a new way. So that's why I kind of wanted to know about it after birthing him. So I think you put that in a way where a lot of moms can definitely get it. You touched on something, man, you touched on a few things I wish I could grow with, but because we're limited with time, I want to ask about the part with the new assignment, because you kind of like just went over that real fast.
Mhm.
But I could tell there's a power behind it when you say it, how you said it. It's like you have a different sense of what you're here for and what you want to be vocal about and what you want to represent. That's what I got from that thought. So I want to ask you, as you're approaching that new assignment and now having the son and being a wife and family and things like that, how are you planning on finding that good balance um with reaching for something new, looking at the baby as the example of what has already been done, and kind of building on it?
And that is something that I am working through now. That's something that I don't think I will ever figure out. I don't think mommyhood is something that you can have all together. And when I say this new assignment, I mean that being a mom is one of the greatest um, teachers on earth, because we are raising up a generation of the next lawyers, the next doctors, the next president. And so I believe that my assignment is just to raise him up to be whoever he's supposed to be. But I am still figuring out life and how to balance that, because one of the things, especially lately, just with me, is how to really juggle life and be a mom, especially at this age. He's only 2. If he was like 16, 17, maybe I can grasp a little bit. But he needs me now, like for every little thing. And then he's very clingy. Like every time I'm just sitting trying to read and he's like crawling on my head. So like he's very clingy. But that is something that I'm trying to figure out now. And I think for me, and I may can speak to a lot of women in particular, I'm trying to let go of control of the way that I think things are supposed to go, the
Mm,
way I think things are supposed to look like.
mm,
I was having a conversation with somebody last night, and they was like, "People, just do it. You want it to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just do it. God sees your heart. He knows." So, and I'm a perfectionist in that sense. Like, if it doesn't look
mm,
a certain way, I get mad and I want to take control, because as a publicist, PR and marketer, that's my job, control the narrative. So, but in life, you can't do that. So I think that no matter where you are in your journey in motherhood, it doesn't have to look a certain way. So I'm learning to embrace the messiness. I'm learning to embrace the havoc. I'm learning to embrace, the not so perfect um, things. Like right now, he's sleeping and my bed is still not made. But hey, it's okay, Deidre. But for me, I used to be like, oh, it has to be this way.
right.
I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to. No, it's okay.
Like,
The laundry will get done when it get done. Like I ain't got time. Like whatever. So just
whatever,
embrace the
whatever.
messiness. That's just where I believe that's what I want to like
That,
give to other women and other moms, because I'm still learning that.
yeah, we all are. And I've gotten chills like a few times while you were talking, just simply because I appreciate you being so open, because everything is so relatable. And sometimes we
Mhm.
get caught up in our own mom world and just like kind of forget, like, okay, there are millions of other women out here going through the
Mhm.
same thing. Let me chill for a second. No, my bed is not made. No, it's not. Okay.
Yeah, and it's
Other
gonna be
moms'
okay.
beds are not made. Like, we're all gonna still go out in the world and be productive and reproductive and all the
Yeah.
good things. So yeah, and just also patting yourself on the back too. For me, when I think about a publicist and just that industry and world, having kind of touched in it,
Mhm.
what's coming to mind is, like you said, when you said controlling the narrative, like that is exactly what it is. And so I love that
Mhm.
you're finding a way to appreciate that part of you, because it does stand for something and represent something in your professional life, and it means something and it makes you good. But everything don't have to cross over into the
Right.
other part of your world. Like, you could keep it over there and just let it be dynamic and just go. And then, when you get home, you can kind of say, this is what I have family for, this is what I have, support for, and things like that. So that's really cool that you're able to recognize that. And when you brought up the assignment of actually like helping your son just to see who he is, what he's about, and bringing that out of him, and that being the assignment, I think that's amazing because that's such a task in itself, right? So, how's it been going with school with him and friends? And you said you're pastor, so I take it you're very involved with your church. So,
Hmm.
friends at church. How are you kind of growing his world so that you can start to kind of support him or see him, in the way that he sees himself?
Yeah, so he was going to school part time, but now he's back full time with me. And I pray over my son. I pray with him. It's sometimes like when I do get a moment to clean up, I just put on worship music, and he knows the songs, and he'll be dancing and try to sing along.
Right.
So I definitely try to expose him to the faith that we share. Now, when it comes to teaching him things, like I try to get him out of the house as much as possible, being that he is the only child, so we'll go walk to the park, and he loves being outside, right? Far as I don't really have a lot of family and friends here, um, in Atlanta, but I mean, I do have people that call and check up on him and things of that nature. But it's just honestly, it's one of those times and those seasons where life is lifing, and different strokes for different folks. People are going their own separate ways,
Mhm.
and things are just happening that's not in my control. So I'm just
Yeah.
doing my best to show up for him
Mhm.
in a healthy way, regardless of what other people are doing. If that makes sense. So yeah, that's pretty
Absolutely.
much it.
Sense. And so, speaking of, things going their own way, people, places, things, doing their own things, I'm so glad we were able to connect today in the midst of all that, because that makes it that much more meaningful to me that, we were able to have this time. And I do like keep these around 20 minutes, like for that reason, because we're moms and we got stuff to do. We got play.
Right.
We have people, looking forward to our presence, just period.
Mhm.
And so we are at that 20-minute mark. And I'm so glad again that we were able to connect for this amount of time in this particular day. So thank you so much for joining me. Please let any I don't know, maybe mom out there who does have a child, even if it's like a high school age child that's in sports right now, that's really
Okay.
coming into their sense of self, please speak to them right now. There's somebody that could be listening that wants to hear from you, because that's what you do, again, helping to keep the narrative for those that you
Mhm.
do represent in your business. So if we can wrap on that, I would love that.
Yeah, I mean, for the mom as well as for the child, there is a quote that says, "Be you, everybody else is taken." And as a publicist, that's my job to protect and share your story. So just continue to be you. Don't fall into the mold of what people want you to do. Yes, there's some things that you have to consider, but at the end of the day, go with what you know, go with what God says, and follow your heart. And you can never go wrong. The right people, the right opportunities will show up for you. Don't compromise.
I love that optimism, and we are going to say goodbye on that optimism. Thank you again for joining me on the Peaceful Warrior podcast, Deidre. I will talk with you another day. I'm sure we're going to chat again.
Yes, thank you. This was fun.
Okay, had a good time. Give baby boy all the kisses from everyone at MOMspace. I'll talk with you later.
Alrighty, bye bye.
Okay, bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode on the reboot season of the Mom Space series. And of course, Deidre is new to the podcast. However, I thought it'd be fun to invite a newer mom on, even in the midst of revisiting some moms that have joined me in the past. And so, if you really enjoyed this episode, I hope you'll share it with someone else so that they can enjoy the same bit of sunshine that you just did. Until next time.